Okay, so this little video clip is talking about the training for the games, which is this worksheet here. So I just wanted to give you the time so that way if you are a little bit confused as to which attributes or you don't really remember, you can go back to the 37th minute of the movie, and that's where their training begins. And then I just also made a little note of the final part before when they have to perform for the sponsors, Katniss, that's at 44 minutes. So just so you have a little bit of an idea in case you have to go back to the movie that way. But when you're looking at the training for the games, this is where we're really looking at the characterization that we had talked about last week. I'm just gonna slide you that way so you can see it. So this is where we look at their attributes to kind of start their characterization, but this is specifically talking about their training period. So remember I told you when we talk about characterization, we are going to talk about how the characters change over time, but it's important for us to acknowledge where they are in the beginning stage of things. Now, prior to the training, we did see a little bit of PETA coming out and realizing that these games are more than just, the actual fighting for survival. This is where the idea of reality TV comes in, and when they're talking to their trainer and they're on their way into the city, they say you want people to like you. It's a show. So even though for them it's their actual lives, it's a show for everybody else. So PETA understands that a lot quicker than Katniss does, that it's about wanting to make an impression, get people to like you, and kind of put on that show factor. But then once we get into training, that's where we start to see their actual physical, mental attributes come to play. So you can take this in a number of ways, right? But when we talk about characterization, when we talk about, which qualities they have, and specifically training wise, you want to look at their actions and what they're doing, right? So we know that Katniss is very good with the bow and arrow, which means she has good hand-eye coordination, right? So we know she's strong with bow and arrow, right? We also notice that she is observing everything around her. She's not just focused in the one activity that she might be participating in that training, right? She's looking around. So she's very alert and observant. Right? She's the one who, when that the character was like really upset that someone took his sword or knife or whatever, she's the one who looks up and sees that the little girl is in the rafters holding it, right? She notices that. And she keeps to herself. Because now remember, once they get out there, they're against each other. So she's paying attention to everyone else's strengths, which is a really advanced skill to have, right? She's cautious. She's not trying to show too much of what she has, but she's very observant. And then we know that she's extremely brave. She's not intimidated. She's not scared off by these people, whether they're from the better district that has been training, or they're just known to be, more prosperous or have more than them. She doesn't feel that. She's very brave, not easily scared. Okay, she's looking at all they're doing and she's taking it in, but she's not making it freak her out. Okay, whereas when we look at PETA, we see that happens. Now, one really positive thing about him that Katniss knows just from them being from the same district is that he's very physically strong. He doesn't look it. Okay, he doesn't look it, but he shows it when she mentions to him, like, you need to throw that big heavy thing. And he's like, we're not supposed to show our strength, they said. She's like, you have to, because you look like a meal to them. Now remember, they're all going to be fighting each other to the death. So, the fact that she noticed that the other districts were looking at him failing during the training, and they're probably thinking he's an easy target. So she's like, you need to show them that you're not. So he throws that heavy weight around the room. So that's how we see it. Throws heavy weight. But we also know that he is very insecure. He does not He does not believe that he has any chance of survival. And we know this in a couple of ways. First, we learn it when they're at that dinner table, and he's like, my mom even told me, like, we might have a winner, but it's you, not me. He does not think he has a chance at survival. And that is a big problem, right? Because if you don't have faith in yourself, it's very hard for you to succeed, especially when everybody else around you is against you. So this sense of he's insecure, he's worried that he won't survive. Okay. Now we do get another aspect of his personality. We learn that he's artistic, right? So he's artistic, and we know this because he does that makeup. He does the makeup to make his arm and hand match the tree. Arm. One. Now that is a skill that would really come in handy, right? Because he'll camouflage with the surroundings. He's able to do that. And we know that he learned that from being at the bakery. So there are, that's one of the things that one of the trainers had told them is you want to look at all your strengths for survival, not just the physical things that we're showing you, but look around and use your survival skills that are inherent to you and your district that can help you. And that is one of the skills that can definitely help him. So these are just some ideas for you. Obviously, if you have additional things or go in a different route, that's fine too. But as always, if you have any questions, just reach out. Okay, have a good night.